If you work in utility safety or ops, you know the landscape changes fast. New safety solutions, updated grounding procedures, and the constant push for better leadership. It's a lot to keep up with. That's where Incident Prevention Magazine comes in. We are the industry's go-to source for real-world safety solutions. From in-depth articles on arc flash protection to ready-to-use tailgate topics for your crew, IP gives you the knowledge, insight, and strategy you need to get everyone home safe. Don't just react to the job, stay ahead of it. Subscribe today at incidentprevention.com. That's incidentprevention.com.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Incident Prevention's Utility Safety Podcast. I'm Kate Wade, the editor of Incident Prevention Magazine, and your host for this episode. Today, I'm sitting down with Andrew Pantelides, Executive Vice President of Telesteps Ladders, and Gary Percy, Director of Business Development for Telesteps, a Seattle-based company that manufactures DuPont Kevlar non-conductive telescoping ladders engineered for use near energized electrical systems. In this episode, Andrew, Gary, and I will discuss what prompted the development of these ladders, how they compare to more traditional fiberglass and aluminum ladders, and need-to-know information for both utility safety and utility fleet professionals. So now, without further ado, I'd like to officially welcome Andrew and Gary to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us, Kate.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kate.
And you guys are you guys up in Canada this morning? Is this an international call?
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're in Toronto.
Perfect.
Yeah, we cover all of North America.
I love that. And Toronto is beautiful, minus the traffic, right?
Minus the traffic and minus the snow.
Oh.
That's right.
So I'm hoping both of you could kind of tell me a little bit about your professional background. What has led you to Telesteps, and maybe give us some background about the company too. How long you've been around and kind of things like that.
Yeah. So to give you a bit of background, we've been around for 40 years, making several other businesses related to aluminum. But we started off by looking at the industry as a whole. My background is in retail. I started in retail, worked with the Home Depot when it first opened its first 6 stores, got retail mentored by the founders, and just fell in love with the whole home improvement world. So my background has always been retail before moving to manufacturing. So I've been a buyer for several big organizations. But when I came on the manufacturing side, and the owner of the company was showing these ladders and this concept and ideas, I was like, wow, this is brilliant. It's a compact ladder. It's got all the safety bells and whistles you've never seen in the marketplace. So we invented this category. We came up with the aluminum version of this Kevlar model, probably 30 years ago. We manufacture everything at our factory. We make our own products. We melt our own aluminum. We don't use scrap aluminum. This is aircraft grade aluminum. And when it comes to the DuPont Kevlar, Gary can give you some more facts on that. But it is we actually weave that in house. So everything's done in house under control environment. But my background has been from retail into manufacturing. And when I saw this product, it was like, wow, this is revolutionary. I mean, we do all sorts of ladders, tactical aluminum for DIY. We do the construction ladder, military grade ladder. That we sold the U.S. military. And then we came up with this other need. We look at voids, and we saw the void being that there wasn't anything there for the electrician. And when we saw where a ladder is being used indoors and around electricity and around all that stuff, we're like, wow, there's a need. People are using fiberglass right now, and fiberglass ladders, when you get in those buildings, really hard to get around corners, really hard to carry. This became groundbreaking for us. We're the only retractable ladder, telescopic ladder in the market today.
Well, I think it's really cool. I mean, this is a product that I was very interested in when I met you guys down in Arizona at our conference. Telesteps was part of the expo, and I think what impressed me was the non-conductive nature, obviously, of the ladder, but also the fact that it's being used, like, Gary told me it's been used in space, like perhaps NASA, and also military because I think it's anti-ballistic as well. Is that
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different features which I kind of, want to get into a little bit more. But you guys seem like the industry's best kept secret. I had not heard of you until I was down in Arizona, and so I'm curious about what your work has been like. Gary, have you been in utilities very much? Are you mostly still in like military and
Yeah,
aerospace or?
yeah. It's actually been exploding, Kate, and the same type of responses that I'm getting from people that I meet along the way is the same as yours. Who are you guys, and how did you come up with this idea? And wow, it's so unique. I'm using the connections that I have with the SpaceX guys and NASA, so to speak, right now because the Artemis 2 is coming back tonight, and that's one of the big things that we developed our DuPont Kevlar ladders because we saw the material is of futuristic material that could be utilized in different applications, just like the Artemis 2. I mean, you think of Artemis 2 has a ballistic shield. It's all made out of Kevlar, DuPont Kevlar. So if space junk or something hits that capsule, it's protected by Kevlar. So we thought of a way on how to manufacture Kevlar into a ladder shape and use that ladder for high-tech areas. I mean, my background is more in high-tech, smart cities, data center, transit, working in high-speed tunnels with rail and things like that. And I've seen a lot of major accidents that they're not good to look at because right away that the person is very, very injured from a faulty ladder. Especially if you look at the fiberglass ladders. I mean, I think Danny Rains, that he said to me a couple of times, look at these fiberglass ladders can dry out, fracture. You're climbing up, but you may not even see the crack in it, and then next thing you know, you're on your back. So, with the aluminum side, there's a risk also with electrocution. And our ladder eliminates all of those issues right off the bat.
Well, can you explain? Because I know when we were in Arizona, Gary, you did a great job of explaining to me how they took the Kevlar and actually formed it to make the ladder, and that it also affects like how much the ladder weighs and things like that. Could you give us some more like specs on
Yeah,
those
on
things?
average, our ladder weighs about, depending on how high the ladders are, if we compare them, but on average, 25 to 30 pounds less than a fiberglass ladder. And also, as you know, I mean, a fiberglass ladder is rigid. So if you put it on top of a van or you put it on top of a truck and you're going down into a tunnel or you're going down into an underground facility, it's very hard to turn with a big ladder hanging off the back of your vehicle. So what we found is we came up with this technique with the Kevlar, and it's, without giving away too much of our copyright and our patent. Andrew can stop me at any time, but I believe that what we did is we got the DuPont Kevlar and we were able to put it into a freezing type of a situation. And then we started to weave it into a ladder shape. So that's how it really is come to fruition. And it's a totally new way of looking at ladders because most people say, well, I have a ladder. Yes, but we're now entering a new world of futuristic high tech. Look at these data centers, for instance. How much power do they draw? And if you have the wrong ladder touching the wrong cable, next thing you know, you've got a fatality on your company's books. So, yeah, we're looking to deal with a lot of different companies in utilizing this ladder, including the electrical grids, data centers, hydro facilities, power facilities, that type of a situation.
Well, one thing to add in that conversation is our ladders are not just like your typical ladder one height. When you want to go buy a ladder, it says at 12 foot or 16 foot. These ladders are telescopic, so they are multiple heights. You can use them at a full 16 foot, or you can use them at 1 foot, or sorry, at 2 feet or 3 feet, or you get multiple heights in one ladder, which is the best part of the how we make this ladder.
Well, and I think that speaks to ergonomics, so I was going to ask you, and in addition to like the ladder being non-conductive, it being lighter weight, it also sounds like people can adjust it so that they're not reaching a lot, and things like that, so I'm curious, can you tell us about any of the other safety benefits we may have missed?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things is that we're designed to ANSI A 14.5 and OSHA standards. OSHA on a telescopic ladder is very hard to achieve, and we achieve that level. We actually surpass that level. So anyone that knows the safety measures around and what OSHA means really understands what getting that designation on a telescopic ladder is significantly first of all impressive, but also very, very safe, right? And can handle the excessive weight loads, and especially when you're working these construction environments, carrying these heavy tool bags up and down all the time. You need durability, you need safety, you need something that meets all that. So, we are built we're built for our climate and more, right? So we're built to handle the extreme weather exposure, the vibrations, the everything that you can throw at this ladder. We've done in our factory. We have a machine that tests the ladder. We have production runs that test the ladder 24 hours a day, 7 days, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, up and down, open, closing the ladder until it breaks. Then we count the days, right? And then we go, hundreds of days, and not even a wear in the gasket. So we've really fine-tuned this product to really withstand excessive use in the marketplace. It's a tool. We call it a tool rather than anything else. So this is a precision tool for anyone in the field, whether you're an electrician, whether you're somebody on the construction site, whether you're a DIYer at home. This is the ideal precision tool to have around the house or the job site. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious if they can ever become like non-conductive or be damaged in some way, either from just outdoor exposure or, some kind of incident or what have you. Do you recommend inspecting the ladders every day just to be on the safe side, sort of like a lot of utilities do with different types of tools that they
Yeah,
have?
there is maintenance. I mean, with any tool, there's always maintenance. Whether you have a simple hammer, right, and you're on the job site and the hammer gets dirty and full of mud or cement, you still want to clean your hammer, just like a ladder, right? You want to make sure that when you're opening the telescopic ladder, we have, first of all, our ladders are safety first, no matter what we do. Any of our businesses is always safety first. So our ladders, and I'll get back to the cleaning part. Our ladders have safety indicator windows, so they actually tell you when it's safe to walk on them, that they're fully locked. So besides that, just regular maintenance, like you make sure there's not dirt around the ring when you're retracting the ladder, right? Make sure there's the ladder is clean between the rungs. So it's basic maintenance, just like you would do to any tool you have. You want to clean off the dirt and keep it relatively clean, right?
Right.
Yep.
It's the same thing, Kate, as a even if you look at a computer that we're talking on today. I mean, you clean your computer. You want to make sure that the
In
keyboard's
theory,
clean.
Gary. In theory, I clean my computer. Yes.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, you want to do that, like Andrew was
Yeah.
saying, that we do have that, and you've seen it down in Phoenix, the one-touch release, and that has stabilizer slow-down tubes, so that it doesn't just drop down and pinch your fingers. So it slows the closure slows down like it would if you had your tailgate on your car. It's a slow close, so that you
Yeah.
can control everything. You can stop it to the height that you need. I mean, it's very ambidextrous if you look at ladders, because you can set it up for multiple jobs with one ladder. So a lot of guys have to bring in 2 or 3 ladders, whereas ours is just a one ladder. And picking it up and moving it drops down below 30 inches. So it's a fantastic piece of equipment. And we have with the A-frame ladder that you saw down in Phoenix, it's a wide stabilizer bar on the bottom, so that you can adjust it for stairs, let's say you're working in a stair environment that you need to work overhead and you've got a offset. You can also set that up to do that. And then that particular ladder can also drop down into a single ladder so that you're just using it as an extension ladder as well. And one of the guys in your show actually came up to me and he said, look, I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to get his crew in trouble, but he said a lot of our people are way overweight. And so, you know, we made the AA duty rating so that it'll take that extra weight when you're working on ladders.
What's the weight limit on, or the capacity?
The ladder for the AA is 375 pounds.
Okay.
Now, because it's OSHA, we surpass OSHA standards. That's 4 times that weight.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically, the 375 times 4. So that's the reason you want to look for that OSHA standard, that OSHA sticker on it, because that's how the rates differ. Someone can say I have a 400-pound, 500-pound ladder, not have an OSHA sticker, but that just means well, is it really rated that high? So you gotta remember 375, times 4. But Gary's right. With the slowdown mechanisms, one-touch release, it's just we've thought about everything. The fact that we make the ladders, people that copy you, it's like a compliment that you're doing something right. And there's a lot of copycats in the marketplace, but not in Kevlar, right?
That's right.
So there's other guys that have copied our aluminum line and have copied everything else. But you got to remember, we make our own product. We use aircraft grade aluminum.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference. Like, we are the original telescopic ladder. We have a team and an engineering team behind it that only focuses on this. It's not like we're buying it from a factory. So we are the manufacturers behind this, and we have decades of history in building this, and this Kevlar just the next evolution of what yet is to come with Telesteps.
Yeah.
Well,
And Kate, just to add to that, Kate, sorry, when you were in looking at the ladders, when I was showing you the ladders, I mean, you could feel and touch that Kevlar. That
it
is
was awesome. It was almost like space age.
That's
Kind of.
ballistic Kevlar. I mean, that's what the SWAT teams and the U.S. Army is using for their protection on their vests. This is the same material that we're using for our ladders. One extra thing that we put on the ladder, Andrew didn't mention, is the pivoting Kevlar, or the pivoting silicone feet that we have at the bottom. I mean, that is like a sure grip that just locks into any surface. I don't care if it's oil or any kind of rocky surface. It just locks into, making it more secure so you're not slipping as well. And a lot of people have said that's one of the key features for that ladder.
How long do these last? Like, what's the lifespan, and how does that compare to like more traditional ladders?
Well, that's a good question. We haven't had, our claim rate as a company is 0.01%. So
In terms of like people coming back
like
and saying
people
that
come
they
back
need to get
saying that there's, well, the majority of it is like, hey, you know what? I want the taller ladder, or I want the A-frame instead of the other ladder. So the lifespan of that stuff, I mean, you usually get 10, 15, 20 years out of it if you maintain it. You got to remember the mechanisms. If they're maintained, it's gonna last you forever. This is aircraft grade aluminum. You really have to damage this ladder and really try and break it in order to break it, right? Yeah. So it's really hard to damage this tool.
It sounds like you're saying if it's properly maintained, it could last, your
It'll last you forever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, Kate, it could be the last ladder that a company buys if you're looking at the Kevlar side of it. So I mean, it's ballistic material. So I think that a bullet won't even go through it. So this is the kind of material, and to take care of a ladder is like what Andrew was saying. You get a clean rag out and you wipe it down. A lot of guys work with muddy boots and stuff like that. It's only natural that you would take it. I mean, you could take it and just hose it down and then wipe it down yourself. And this is the kind of thing that you do to your own car.
Yeah. I mean, I still go to job sites and on our other business where it comes to deck and railings and some other stuff that we do. Yeah, I still go to job sites where, you know, we were giving these out as promos and this and that 10 years ago, the aluminum ones, and they're still on job sites and they're still being used and still being, you know, you can tell they're very used, and they're still there. They're still working. Yeah. So one I have is about 15 years old, and I've had it, but again, I use it. I actually use it more than I expected. Probably monthly at least. You know, light bulbs and here and there, and around the house, outside. So it's
Well, you have
really
a step
is.
ladder one, don't you? There's a
Yes.
step, the
Yep.
step ladder, yeah,
Yeah.
which
The A-frame step ladder, best thing around the house. I'll tell you that.
I keep thinking about it, honestly. I'm
Yeah.
like, I
It's
need a
got
step
this.
ladder,
It's
and
got the
that
stair
seems, yeah.
adapter. Yeah, it's got
There
the
you
stair
go,
adapter.
Kate.
Yeah.
You're on the list now.
Oh, oh. Well, we also, besides incident prevention, we also published a magazine for utility fleet managers. And so I kind of wanted to get that side of things. What should fleet managers know about these ladders? Like, can they be transported the same? Is there a noticeable difference, between weight? They're often thinking about their load limits and payload capacity and all of these things. Um, ergonomics.
Well,
Yeah.
during Gary's recent travels and a lot of meetings he's had, um, you know, he is finding out that fleets are downsizing trucks. A lot of these guys are going from trucks and large vans to smaller fleets, right?
Micro.
Yeah, micro. They're micro-sizing. Yep.
Yeah, they're as you know, Kate, a lot of the crews are looking for ways to save on fuel and energy, and one of the ways is they're downsizing their vehicles. So this is with the fleet utility managers. This is where we see the biggest reaction from those teams. Traditional fiberglass extension ladders can weigh anywhere from 45 to 70 pounds, depending on its size, like I said earlier. But our ladders retract to under 3 feet. So you can imagine now putting let's say a 17-foot ladder on top of your van. First of all, a van is very high and you have to get up there to put it up there. Then you have to strap it down. There's a whole process in which you have to do it. And it's a sequence of steps. Because our ladder drops down to under 3 feet, that's a significant difference for a lot of specialty crews, and it only weighs less than 34 pounds. So
I was also thinking about women. Yeah,
yes, so
women too.
a lot of women are in the industry, and imagine if I could save the weight, like if I put 25 extra pounds on your back,
Oh my God.
on your shoulders, and you were carrying that around for 6 or 7 hours. I think you're going to have an impact if I can say, okay, I'm going to drop it to less than 30 pounds. That makes a big difference for people when they're carrying stuff around, especially in winter.
I often think about my best friend who is a woman, and she's an equipment manager for a contractor nearby, and she's smaller than I am. And so when I think about her having to carry a lot of this stuff, it's like the reality is there's more women in here. And if we can get things that are easy or for them to carry too, that makes everybody safer. So there's
It does. It really it doesn't make matter what size you are. When you combine the non-conductivity with the true portability, you're not just improving on the safety, you're actually changing how crews can actually work in the field. So it speeds up their productivity. And a lot of foremans love that because they're saving time, they're getting the job done, and there's no complaints.
Well, right. There's less wear and tear on people's bodies, which I mean is an issue for people that work in this industry. That's a very physical job. So the more we can save weight and help them out, it's great.
And we already have a shortage on these type of people that can do these jobs and these qualified electricians. There's a shortage already. There's a lot of them that are retiring and we're not replacing them. So that if we can be part of that, where we're saying we're going to extend your working ability day by day because of our ladders and the use of, I think a lot of workmen are going to be very happy with that. And a lot of the companies and CEOs should also be focused on that as well.
Good point. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, what's kind of next for you guys? Like, you have this, I mean, I think it's an ideal product for this industry. Do you have other ideas, other things you're working on that you can comment on? Anything you'd like the listening audience to know?
Well, we're always innovating. One thing we are looking at now is making the telescopic ladder taller. So we're looking at a higher reach. We are also we have in the past done scaffolding, so we're looking at possibly doing another non-conductive version of that in scaffolding. But yeah, there's quite a few different other ventures when it comes to the telescopic side that we're always researching and doing. Um, yeah, not much we can expose on this call today, but I'd probably say the one that is closest to launching is probably a taller version of what you saw at the show.
Okay. How
Um,
much taller? Like, is it a considerable amount or?
Significant. We're trying to make it so it's not so, the taller you get, the bigger your base has to be, right? So you got to find the happy medium. How much? Yeah, sweet spot. What's the sweet spot for carrying? Can you really carry this, or is it becoming now awkward to carry? So we are in development of that. But other than that, you keep an eye out on Telesteps, at telestepsflyers.com. You can see some new innovative stuff on there. Probably in 2027. But one thing I got to mention is, there's other industries, and through my retail background, some companies, when competition comes on, especially when you see a lot of the stuff on Amazon and all the other companies that knock things off, it's always been a race to the bottom. A lot of companies fear that they got to, oh, I got to be cheaper, I got to be cheaper. But when it comes to it's totally opposite when it comes to safety and our industry. When it comes to safety, people look opposite and say, wow, do I really want to buy a $99 ladder and I'm climbing on this thing and I'm risking my life? Or there's a reason why this is $300. In the case of Kevlar, it's a little more, but we have the opposite effect when it comes to telescopic ladders. Aluminum to Kevlar, the same thing. They realize that there's engineering and science behind what we've done and safety, right? A lot safer than what you see in the marketplace. And not to mention the fact to weave Kevlar and do what we've done, that's a process. Nothing you can go in and buy. So this says a lot about our company and our standards and why we continue to grow in a market that's built around, everything getting cheaper and smaller, right?
Well, it sounds like you get what you pay for. I mean, maybe it's $300, but it's if you're saying it lasts for decades when maintained correctly and has all these different safety features, I think that speaks for itself. Before we close everything out today, because we talked about a lot of stuff here, I want Gary and Andrew, I want to give you both the opportunity to mention anything else that you want people to know before we sign off.
Well, I'd just like to say, Kate, one of the things that really I'm excited about for the future is I'm sure you've heard of a company called Granger. And Granger has approached us and want to carry our whole line, including the Kevlar ladders. And we're going live with them at the end of this month, early May. So we'll be on board with them, and you can purchase all our ladders through Granger. And a lot of companies have accounts with Granger that are big corporations. The other thing that we're doing is we can make a specialty Kevlar ladder with corporate logos on it, like Caterpillar or Milwaukee Tools or anything like that. So that's another option for companies to say, not only do we have the toughest, biggest machines, but we got the toughest ladder that could be fitted right to that machine. So the other thing is working with the U.S. military, our tactical ladder is second to none. I mean, we get a lot of people wanting to buy that tactical ladder that is so technically advanced. It's a fantastic product. And we've got an R&D department right now that are doing some research, as Andrew just said, and they're working nonstop to come up with new product, because we've been able to manufacture this Kevlar in a way that nobody else could do it. We're the only ones in the world, and I feel proud to say that. So we've come up with the advantage that we're the only ones in the world that can build a Kevlar ladder. And that right there, I think it speaks to our company and our leadership and our the president of our company, how he leads us every day.
Mm. Yep.
Wonderful. Thanks,
Yep.
Gary.
Yep. No, yeah, well said. And as far as one takeaway, the ladder, which to summarize, our company as far as Telesteps, what we always say, the ladder is big when you need it, small when you don't. I mean, that summarizes a ladder. But there's actually one neat product I forgot to mention. This goes back into the telescopic world. We are coming out with what's called a telescopic. It's about to launch telescopic light pole. This is another innovative item because it uses cold solar, and cold solar it just needs light, a light source, not just direct sun. And what this does is, right now, when you come to farm field, ranch, areas where you don't want to trench and run power and electricity, these light poles they interact with each other. So I can have work environments, job sites, somewhere where I can't trench and put these lights in. These
Yeah.
telescopic light poles will go from 3 feet up to 10 feet high and shine a light at a 20-foot diameter. And yeah, so we are that is going to launch soon, and that's part of our telescopic series.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good for government too, as well,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yeah,
And for park systems, a lot of parks, they don't want to start digging up the grounds and running wires and cables and everything like that. So this thing here is completely advanced, and it's interoperable. So it has
Yep.
you can put multiple lights all over the area that you want to cover, and you can actually change the color of the lighting. So I mean, it's a fantastic product as well.
And this will be part of the Granger product line too? Or will you guys be offering it there?
Well, we're still in the completion of the
Yeah.
manufacturing and testing of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd love to have it on Granger as well.
Yep. Mhm.
But can people buy stuff direct right from your website? Do they have to go to a distributor, or they can buy direct from you?
Right now, with right now you can go to telestepsladders.com and purchase. But with the addition of Granger, where we're moving our business is to wholesale. So, for example, this this Kevlar ladder will be a Granger item. So you'll have to go to Granger's website to buy it. So that's how we deal with partnerships. So we don't compete with our customer. We'll launch it. We'll do the testing. We'll do all the stuff and sell it on our e-store. But then when we build a wholesale channel, we support our wholesalers and retailers to push that out. It's a partnership.
Yeah, that sounds great, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to thank both of you so much for your time today. I think this has been very illuminating. And I know if people have questions, they can go to your website. And we've also posted your contact information on our website. So if you go to utilitysafety.podbean.com, you can check out Andrew and Gary's contact information. Their URL for Telesteps ladders is there as well. And until next time, stay safe and be well. The views, information, and opinions expressed during this podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Utility Business Media and its employees. It is strongly recommended that you discuss any actions or policy changes with your company management prior to implementation.